Hey, it's Charlie from Mountain Recovery. Today we're in Vail, Colorado at one of the chain stations, and I'm going to show you how to install tire chains on a semi. So chain law is going to be in effect in the state of Colorado when the lights at the chain station are on, and then also when the signs are flashing. So chain law is in effect from September 1st all the way until May 31st. That's all the way through the winter. What that means for you is that you need to carry enough chains on your truck for you to be legal when those signs start flashing. You actually need to install them on your truck. Most semis out there, that's 4 total chains that you're going to need to carry with you the entire time. All right, let's get going. With Pewag Tire chains, these are the only chains left made in the United States. So a couple things about tire chains. Few components here. This is the cam. Most sets of tire chains have about 4 of these. This here is called the cross link. On this set of chains, they're square. These are Pewags, they're really high quality. This squareness is going to help bite into that ice and that snow out on the road. All right, so the last thing on these sets of chains is the rail. That's the part that holds the cross sections together. So now that you know the 3 components of the chains, we have to throw these onto the tires in a way that we can back over them. Before we actually throw these onto the tire, we want to make sure they're orientated correctly. There's 2 things you want to look for. First of all, this hook right here that's on every single cross link connecting the rail, you want that hook in the up position, away from the tire. If it's against the tire, against that sidewall, there's a good chance that's going to cut into your sidewall and destroy your tire. The second thing that you want to look for is your cams. You want your cams to be orientated to the outside of the tire so you can actually tighten them later when we talk about that. We're demonstrating on 502 today. What we're trying to represent is 90% of semis out there. 90% of semis, you're going to have 22.5-inch rims, you're going to use 2247 tire chains, and you're going to need to chain up 4 chains again to be legal in the state of Colorado. All right, so as we throw these onto the truck, you're going to want to look at the way your truck is orientated on the actual pavement to see which way you want to back over or go forward over your tire chains. The easiest thing to do is to go with the least path of resistance. So if you're on an uphill, you're going to want to back over your chains so you don't spin your tires and spin those chains up. If you're on a downhill, you're going to want to go forward over those chains. Here today, we're relatively flat, but I think we're on a little bit of an uphill. So what we're going to do is pull all that excess chain up over the tire, and in essence kind of draping that chain, letting it just touch the ground right there just a little bit. And then since we're going to be backing over these chains, we're going to want to drape the rest of this chain and just kind of pile it up in front of it. That way, as we back over, this excess is going to follow its way up that sidewall, and the rest of that chain is going to be underneath your tire. All right, let's do the same thing to the other 3. Again, we're watching where our hooks are oriented. We're watching where our cams are oriented. Making sure that they don't cut into the tires and that we can access the cams once we're backed over the tire. Our cross links, they're pretty much perpendicular with the tire. Our chains are nicely draped on both sides. Our cams are to the outside. The hooks are up so that they're not digging into that sidewall as well. So now that we've got these tire chains fully draped over the tires and we're ready to back over them, Seth, come on over here. He's going to hop in 502 and back up until I stop him, and I'll show you where to stop.
Sounds good, boss.
Okay. All right, so we've got Seth up in the cab. We're ready to back this thing up while I direct him. One thing to note is that we've got 2 chains on the outside of these drive tires here. We've got 2 chains on the outside of the drive tires over there on the driver's side of the truck. You can do this all at one time, or you can do this all individually, whatever your proficiency level is. But here you go, and I'll show you where to stop these chains as he's backing up. Come on back. All right, so I got Seth stopped. He set his brakes. We've got these at about the 1-2 o'clock area where they're hanging on the tire. If you go too far, they're gonna fall back off, but if you don't go enough, you're gonna fight it underneath the tire. Again, we've got our cams to the outside so that we can tighten them in a minute. And we've got our hooks up so that they don't dig into that sidewall and ruin your tire. Our next step is to hook these chains up. On the inside first, you can see I've got a hook here. I'm gonna reach back up inside this tire. So now that we've got these chains perfectly placed on these tires, we're gonna hook our inside rail up first, as tight as you can. And it's okay if you are on this link or the third link or even the fourth link on some different tire chains, but we at least want to get this last link here hooked on. All right, so the next step is to hook the outside rail of this set of chains up together. We hook that up on the farthest link that we can get in. Again, it's just like the inside. Maybe it's the first one, second one, third one, even fourth one sometimes. But I like to pull on that a little bit, and then I like to re-hook that. Maybe see if I can get to that next link. Not on this set though, but if you can get to that second one, it's even better for you. Now we're gonna hook up this other set over here, and then on the other side as well. Nope, not today. All right, so now that we've got all 4 tires, 2 on the driver's side, 2 on the passenger side hooked up, we need to tighten these things. If you noticed, as you pull your chains out of the bag, you'll find a tool to tighten those up. Every bag of chains comes with at least one tool to actually tighten those cams up. We're gonna show you how to tighten those up now. For me, I like to tighten up these cams starting at the bottom, working my way to the top. The reason is because it's easier to tighten them up at the bottom, and as I work my way up, it's gonna get harder, and I wanna have my leverage at the top here. I'll show you that. All right, so this is our loosest cam on the bottom of the tire. We're gonna use our cam tool to tighten that cam, half turn. That's all the way tight right there. We're gonna work our way up the rest of the tire here, getting this completely tight. We're gonna tighten up this second one. It's gonna get a little bit harder as we work our way around the tire to the top. Nice and tight. And as I tighten these cams, you'll see your cross links across your treads get a lot tighter. All right, so on this set of chains, we have 1, 2, 3 cams. We haven't tightened this one up yet. It's at the top, it's gonna be our hardest one. It's gonna be nice and tough. Means you did a good job. All right, we've got that nice and tight. That's why you start at the bottom and work your way around with those cams. Now we're gonna go on to the next one and then work on the other side. Now that we've done one tire, this gets easier and easier. I'll tell you what, for me, this takes about 15 minutes to do a whole truck. For you, first time, you're gonna be looking at 30 to 45 minutes. So settle in, get used to it, stay warm. Last but not least, that top cam, nice and tight. All right, ready to work on the other side. We've got all 4 tires chained up. Seth's ready to go. He's legal to operate in the state of Colorado. One last tip for you. Please, please, please wear high vis when you're doing this. Every year a trucker gets killed at the chain station in the state of Colorado. We don't want to see that. Pull over as far as you can off the side of the road. Stay out of that roadway. Watch your back. All right, Seth, hit it.